Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're from. My name is Angela Fuentes, and I have some things to talk about with mindset today. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but things happened, and I'm going to probably incorporate that into my recording today. So thank you for listening in advance. I really appreciate it. I This is the first time that I've ever been asked to speak on a Zoom, or volunteered, I should say. I really volunteered to speak on a Zoom, and I'm actually excited, but I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. So we are going to speak about mindset today, and mindset is huge for me because I have been through a lot of trauma in my adult life. I had a great childhood, but very, very sheltered. Um, my mom passed away when I was 17, and from then I didn't know what to do with myself after that. I went into a deep depression and had a lot of anxiety, due to the fact that I just did not understand my emotions. And um, there wasn't a lot of awareness at that time for depression and anxiety. I didn't understand what was happening to me. I didn't know um, anything about mindset, mental health. I didn't know anything about that. I've learned the hard way. I am a survivor of, many mental health issues. And because of my mental health issues, it allowed me to be vulnerable to where I am a survivor of domestic abuse of all different kinds. And so, as you can imagine, or unfortunately might know, that does take a toll on your mind. So I've had quite the journey trying to get my mindset under control. So that's just a little bit of background on me. I'm going to share how I have really, and especially in the last 2 years, have really changed my mindset. I'm still a work in progress. I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I'm definitely way further than I have been previously in any part of my life. And there's many reasons for that. But I'm going to start out with something that is just a little, it's not really a poem. It's like a little story, a little Winnie the Pooh story, and it's called Today Was a Difficult Day. So today was a difficult day, said Pooh. There was a pause. Do you want to talk about it? Asked Piglet. No, said Pooh after a bit. No, I don't think I do. That's okay, said Piglet, and he came and sat beside his friend. What are you doing? Asked Pooh. Nothing really, said Piglet, only I know what difficult days are like. I quite often don't feel like talking about it on my difficult days either. But goodness, continued Piglet, difficult days are so much easier when you know you've got someone there for you, and I'll always be here for you, Pooh. And as Pooh sat there working through in his head his difficult day, while the solid, reliable Piglet sat next to him quietly, swinging his little legs, he thought that his best friend had never been more right. So, Winnie the Pooh is always good for the soul. But honestly, I read that, and I actually, while I was waiting for my capsules to kick in this morning, read that, and it just hit me because we all had difficult days. Yesterday, I was supposed to be on the Zoom at 12 p.m. my time, Eastern time, and literally my house went crazy. I will not share the details. Everybody is okay, but I definitely had a family emergency, and my day definitely did not go as planned. And I happened to be on the phone with one of my best friends at the time, thankfully. She was my Piglet yesterday for sure, and she is quite often anyway. And I literally was just like having a meltdown inside of my brain. I was crying. I was upset. I still am not sure how I'm going to handle everything, but I made it through. And one of the things that my friend said to me was, I can't believe the changes in you and how you handled what you handled yesterday. Because previously to my 3 steps and the HDS, I credit the HDS for a lot of my mood support too, and my changes in how I think. previously to that, I would have been a complete and utter spazzing mess. I would have lost my mind. I would have been sobbing. I would have I probably would have went to bed for days at a time. Because, you know, I've always had trouble in my adult life, handling my emotions, handling, how I felt about things. But I'm going to back it up a little bit and I'm going to come back around to this. A little over 2 years ago, I lost a bonus son. We have a lot of gun violence here in Philadelphia, and he was a product of gun violence, May 10th of 2021. And I went into a very, very deep depression, very dark place in my life. I was not thriving yet. I did not know about Thrive. So I didn't also have the proper tools in place to get me through that. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. I barely made it through my mom. And my mom was at that time the biggest loss for me, I'd say, up until that happened with my son. And I just didn't know how. I went in and out of, grieving, deep, dark grieving and depression. And I already previously have had years of, trauma and abuse and, you name it, a lot of things. So I remember at one time my daughter said to me, you have to stop talking about yourself like that, because what I would do is I would consistently put myself down. I would consistently tell myself how dumb I am, how stupid I am, how ashamed I am. You name it, I said it. And I said it inside my brain even more than it came out my mouth. And when she said that, it was like a slap in the face. It was like something that I knew and I should have known for a long time. And it's like, it, but to actually stop it is really, really hard, especially when you have dealt with a lot of mental abuse, and over again, right? So I remember her saying that, and I was like, well, I don't know how to change my negative thinking. I really don't. So it weighed on me. It stuck with me for a long time. And I was like, I got to do something. But I was in such a deep, dark place, of grieving, as well as just a deep, dark place in my life coming out of another abusive relationship, that I just was not sure how I was going to change that. So I did some research on negative thoughts, negative thinking, and how to change it. And I came upon this app called the I Am app. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It is an app that comes up on your phone, and it tells you, you can set like what kind of affirmations you want to say or think about. And you can, have it remind you like 3 times a day to say your affirmations, whatever the case may be. It's really tailored to you. So like mine for today, let me see what mine are for today. Today is, I am close to making my dreams come true. That is my affirmation that the I Am app sent to me today. And another one is because I have 2 of them, and I don't know how I ended up with 2 of them, but I ended up having 2 of them. And so it literally sends me 2 different ones. People are lucky to have me in their lives. And so I downloaded this app, and apparently I was really zealous about it because I apparently downloaded it twice. And I had this to where it started reminding me every single morning to say my affirmations. And then I thought, I can't do this. I don't feel this. This is not how I feel. I don't feel like, I'm close to making my dreams come true. I don't feel that people are happy to, lucky to have me in their life, So I thought, okay, I can't get it out of my mouth. I'm going to start in here. And that was one of the best things that I have ever done for myself. is that I just, since I couldn't get it out of my mouth, I started just thinking it. So to this day, if I'm having a bad mental health day, if I can't get the affirmations out of my mouth, I will say it 3 times in my head, every single morning. And that really, really helped, because as I started saying these positive things to myself, I was able to, little by little, baby steps, literal baby steps of changing the way that I spoke to myself. Um, and if I did have a negative thought that came in, maybe I did do something that was not the greatest decision or whatever, I stopped. I did my best to stop downing myself. And I started thinking, well, how can I reword this to myself? Instead of saying, oh, I'm so dumb, I can't believe I did that. I started thinking to myself, well, I could say, okay, that wasn't the best decision. I'm going to do better next time. And I don't know exactly what led me to, all of this. You could do research, but you have to actually put it into effect. And I don't know how I actually did that, and how you muster up strength that you don't even know you have, to be honest. Because I was in probably one of the deepest places and darkest places that I had been in my entire life when I started this journey. And maybe that is why, because I feel like I had really truly hit rock bottom. I became a person that was so angry. I became a person that I would never want to be around. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. My relationship with my kids was very, very sketchy. And I don't blame them, to be honest. I became, and then what was really hard too was when I started my healing journey, I had to really take accountability for the things that, you have to take accountability in the part of your own, I don't want to say demise, but your own deep place and dark place that you're in. What did you do to help this happen? What did you do? And if you don't take that accountability, what I notice is that you won't change. You won't find a way to be better. And so that was hard. That was really, really hard. But having the affirmations really helped me, because when I thought, okay, I can't believe I allowed blah, blah, blah to happen. I was able to say, but I'm doing better now. I am actually have a plan in place of how I am making better choices, making, my trying, working on making my negative self-talk go away. And that was really, really helpful for me to be able to do the accountability part of my, my deep, dark place, and my relationship with my family, my kids, anybody, my friends. And I'm glad I did that. It was really hard, but I'm really glad I did that, because it led me to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is, once you change your thinking, you start feeling, and this all happened before I even started and knew about Thrive. I had seen, I think I'm pretty sure at this point I did. I had been watching my sponsor, but I really didn't understand, as most people don't, the effects of having the proper nutrition and how that affects your brain and your gut health and stuff like that. So I just was kind of like doing this on my own. And I realized that resilience / determination actually plays a lot into your mental health. And people would say to me all the time, you're so resilient. You're very much determined. I've been a single parent of a special needs child and normal children all of their lives. Their dad has never been involved. And so I have great family support, but I've been a single parent from day one. And so, people looked at me and they'd be like, you're so strong, you have your son, you have this, you're resilient, you're determined. And I didn't feel that. So that was something that I'm like, well, I want to feel what they see in me. Or, instead of feeling like if they knew what I knew, they would think differently, then, I'm able to that way I was able to actually start changing my negative thinking. So, there was a quote that somebody had given me yesterday, and it says, even a mistake may turn out to be a worthwhile achievement. And that was quoted by Henry Ford. And so I started thinking about all the mistakes because when you're fixing your negative thinking and you are trying to become a different person and a better person, you have to, again, take accountability for the mistakes that you made and that made you into the person that, allowed all these terrible things to happen, or had these terrible things happening to them. So what I started thinking about was, my past and previous traumas and how I played into them, and how the mistakes can be changed into something different. And that is where people see that even though I've been through all this stuff and the number of things and the traumas and everything that I've been through, that they still saw me as resilient, determined, strong. And I'm like, okay. So I could see it all tying into each other where I couldn't see that before. I have to say, again, like the affirmation app that I have on my phone really allowed me to start opening up my mind and seeing that, my resilience and determination actually did tie into my, mental health. And that's why I'm still here. I used to think I was so weak for allowing the things to happen and, for being a part of this or doing this or whatever. But I actually am resilient. I actually do have determination. I actually am strong, because some people don't live through the things that I've been through. Some people don't make it as well. Some people do better. Some people do worse. And I started thinking, I am resilient. I am determined. I could have done things a lot better. When you know better, you do better. I didn't. I did what I knew was to be best at the time. And there's always that, thought that creeps in like, oh, I wish I could have done X, Y, Z. But my mistakes actually, even though I do wish that I could go back and change them, I feel like a lot of my mistakes actually have been able to be used towards good as well. Like my kids now have they have an example of what to be and what not to be. There's a lot of mistakes that I made that they know, and they can work towards doing better. And who doesn't want that for their kids? That's, I would go through everything that I went through again, if it helped my kids. You know what I mean? I obviously would prefer not to, because I think my kids would have had a much different childhood. I know they would have, but unfortunately I can't go back and change everything. So I just have to deal with it now. So my thought is, instead of thinking about like, oh my God, which was where I was always stuck. I was always stuck in like, look what happened. Look what I did wrong. Now I change my thoughts when they come in, because all those thoughts always creep in. They always creep in, no matter how strong you are. Those thoughts always try to creep in to tell you how, yeah, you're strong, but blah, blah, blah. So I try to always change my thinking of, no, I am strong, because now I've changed things. I don't allow that anymore. I don't allow the negativity in my life. I don't allow, I know how to set boundaries. All those mistakes led me to where I am today. All those things that I allowed at that time, I know I will never allow them ever again. And again, my kids have a model of what to make sure they don't do. And that, to me, it's like a backwards thing, but I'm grateful for that. I don't ever want my kids to go through the things that I went through, and to allow the behavior that was, like allowed what happened to me. I don't want them to go through that. I don't, you know what I mean? So, resilience and determination, strength, they all tie into your mental health, and it's all about how you're thinking. So I have to say that something I learned yesterday when I was talking to my friend, and having my meltdown. Is I was having a meltdown, but you know what? At the same time, I'm really proud of myself for how I responded and acted, and I kept going. I did not go to bed. I didn't go to sleep. I stayed up. I took chill. Thank God for chill. I love chill. That has helped me through a lot too. Um, but previously, like I said, I would have been freaking out, but I didn't. I had a little bit of meltdown, but you're allowed to. You have to allow yourself to feel. And working through my emotions, I was never able to do before. So I'm really proud of myself for that. And to be able to tell myself that I'm proud of myself is huge. It's a huge accomplishment. So I'd say that that's a success for me. And I'm actually really, really, I don't know the word. I am pleased with, I can see what, okay, here we go. When those things happen to uproot your world and you actually think differently, act differently, feel differently, it is actually comes across as a success, and you feel a lot better about how you handled the situations compared to how you would have handled the situations previously. And that's a pretty big success for me. So I'm going to get back into that changing negative thinking. One of the things that I started to do was I started to correct my friends when my friends would, even to this day, my daughter-in-law, she was like, I asked her a couple of weeks ago, I asked her if she did something that she was supposed to do for me. And she was like, no, I'm stupid. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do it now. And I was like, I'm not responding to you until we change that. How about we change that to, no, I'm a busy mom and I completely forgot, and I'll do better next time. And she wrote back and she said, I've never had anybody respond to me like that. I've never had, and she went through a lot of childhood trauma as well as some adult trauma too. And she was like, this is why I love you guys so much, because I have never ever had anybody correct me on that. I've never had anybody point out to me that I'm talking like that about myself. And I was like, well, I'm the one, because I don't want any of my kids, in-law or not, to do what I did. I waste a lot of time thinking really bad things about myself, and I'm not that bad of a person. I find that I'm actually a kind person, and that people really, find me kind. And that's really who I've always felt like inside. Like I've always felt very genuine and kind. And then I thought that nobody could see that anymore, but it really was me who couldn't see it. So now, I have the friend that actually was on the phone with me yesterday when everything happened. And she was like, nope, this is my ledge. You got to get off. You have to go to another ledge, because this is my ledge. And this is the ledge that you consistently talk me off of all the time. So I'm going to talk you off a ledge now. And she stayed on the phone. And there was times that she would say things to me and I just wouldn't even respond, because I had like all these thoughts in my brain yesterday that was like, how am I going to handle this? What am I going to do for this? Like this, that, and the third. And, but I was able to process through them. And she just stayed on. She's like, just breathe. She's reminded me to take my chill, and that's because, for like, she is one who's been through some abuse and trauma too. And I'm like, I'm not responding to you until you change that sentence from blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah. And that's something that I'm actually proud of for myself, because I have never been the person. I've always been the person who just thought negatively with you. And that's not who I want to be. And I'm a different person. And I will say that, ever since I was little, I wanted to be a teacher. That was my goal. I had a chalkboard. My mom would take me to this bookstore. They didn't really have like a big thing of like homeschooling things at the time, when I was little, showing my age. But they had like these books that had the answers in the back. So I just swore I was the teacher. And, I'm an only child. So all my dolls were my friends. So I wanted to be a teacher, and I would come home and I would teach my dolls. in my class. And I didn't become a teacher. And I always thought I gave up on my dream, but I didn't give up on my dream because, and I'll get into the manifesting in a second, but I started manifesting, and I didn't know what I was manifesting. I just said, I just want to be better. I just want to do better. I just want to know better so I can do better. And I want to change my thoughts, and I want to change my ways, and I want to be true to myself. And in enters Thrive. And obviously we know how your gut health is tied to your mental health, and how when you do give yourself the nutrition that you're supposed to give. We know all of this from being in Thrive. When you give yourself all of the nutrition that you're actually supposed to give, you can think clearer. Excuse me. You have the mood support from the patches and the capsules. And I also take HDS, and that really has helped my mood and my thoughts. It's helped my sleeping patterns. And so all of that is tied into your mental health. But if you don't commit to changing and to actually taking this and to wanting to be better, it's not going to change you. So that is something that I can be proud of myself for, because I was committed to being a better person. When, there's been ebbs and flows of this business, and I started in September of 2022, and there's already been some ebbs and flows in this business, and I'm able to work through them. And I always, when I first started Thriving, I was like, I really, really wish I would have had this before. But I think that whoever you believe in, God, the universe, or, your higher power, or whatever you believe in, I believe that the reason why this was not put in my life before is because I would not have appreciated it the way I do now. I had started my healing journey on my own from a deep, dark place, and then had Thrive come in and kind of like finish me off. And I'm not saying I'm finished. I'm a still work in progress. I have a long way to go. But I'm actually at the point where I'm opening up to people. I'm talking about things that have happened to me. And that was really, really hard for me. And I credit that to, me doing the research and putting the work in before I even was able to fill my body with the right nutrition and the community of positivity and, all of that. So I want to touch quick on manifesting. My friend said to me yesterday, manifesting is a power that you have and you don't know until you tap into it. And that is the truth. I didn't know how to manifest. I didn't know what I was doing. I just heard people say that it's really good for your mental health. And I was like, well, I need that. And this was before Thrive. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go on YouTube and find some manifestation things and figure out how to do this. And I was like, okay, I'm manifesting something bigger and better in my life, but I don't know what it is. I just need something. I need something that is for me, for my path, to align into the way that I feel. Here comes Thrive in to make, my body feel better, my mind feel better. But what I realized lately is that I didn't give up on my teaching, on my dream of being a teacher. Now I get to help people. Now I get to teach. Now I get to learn how to be a leader, learn how to have a team, learn how to teach people about the products, learn how to teach people about nutrition. And nutrition, I didn't know anything about it before I started Thrive. I get to teach people how, I heard you say that negative thing about yourself. Let's change that. I get to be a person that I've always felt aligned with me, and get to be that kind and genuine human being, and have people really see it. And people saw it in me. But now I can't tell you, I've gotten phone calls from people that are like, I see what you're doing every single day. And I just want to tell you, like, you're the bomb. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so thankful that you're doing this. I look forward to watching your journey. I look forward to watching your stories. And whether they thrive with me or not, they see the changes. And that has been huge for me. And now I get to pass on my knowledge and teach other people how to do the same thing. And there is where my dream came true. That right there is everything. It may not be the chalkboard. It may not be a class of students that way, which is what I thought my dream was as a child, but it transformed with me from all the things that I went through and the things that I've been through. And now I get to actually live out my dream because I put in the work into my mind to challenge myself and to be determined that I was not going to stay in the same mindset. It's so huge to have someone, and this is where I'm going to tie it back to the difficult day that I read earlier. It's so huge to have a community of people that help you, that notice if you do something, if you're going to say something that is terrible to yourself, that they can come and be like, I heard that. You correct me, I'm going to correct you. And you're accountable with each other. And that's what I love about the community. Like, not everybody that you meet is going to be a positive person. So maybe you'll be the person to be able to help them change their mindset. Maybe you'll be the person to be able to come in and say, you know what, I've been where you're at. And this is, I felt what I've literally may not have gone through the exact thing that you've gone through, but I've been there and I can help you through it. Let's get you feeling better. Let's, help you start changing your mindset, because I did this, that, and the third, and I don't want to see you do that. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you literally thrive. So, the last thing I want to say is, mental health is tied to physical health. And my mental health, once I started getting my mental health under control, enter Thrive, I was able to get my mental health and my physical health. Again, I'm still a work in progress. I'm still working towards it. Maybe a year from now, I can look back on this and be like, wow, I wasn't even where I'm at now. And that's what I pray to be. And I know I will be. I know. And that's something that is huge for me. People that just met me through Thrive or whatever don't really know my journey, and they haven't seen everything I've been through. That is a huge statement for me to say, I know that I will be bigger and better in a year. I know for a month from now, I won't be, because even the person a month ago wasn't the person I am today. I'm like consistently evolving into a bigger and better person. And I really contribute that to mindset. I have made sure that my mindset, I do my best to make sure that my mindset is on point every single morning and every single day. Do I have bad days? Absolutely. Yesterday was a horrendous day. It was a very difficult day. And I'm very thankful for my friend that I had on the phone with me at that time. And I have a friend, like, even if she wasn't on the phone with me, I could have called her, or I could have called a few other people. And I'm so grateful for the people that I have in my life that I'm able to lean on, and that they're able to lean on me. I am now a person that they can lean on and know that I'm going to be positive for them. I'm going to help change their mindset if their mindset needs help. And I am just so grateful for that. I can't say enough about that. So if you get your mental health in control, you also get your physical health in control, with your nutrition, and you really just like download that I Am app if you haven't. It is, I think, $14.99 a year or $19.99 a year. And it is so worth it. It has truly helped me change my thinking. It has truly helped start my day off correctly. And that is so huge. When you start your morning off thinking positive thoughts, it's huge. It's wonderful. And I just challenge you to do that. I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Teamwork makes the dream work. So that means we have to stick together and come together as a community, as positive people, and just really help each other through our mental health, because most people, like I'd say 9 out of 10 people, have issues with their mental health, and we can all help each other with that. So At that, I am going to close. Rachel, I don't know if you're sitting there or not.